Roll call, please.
Freeholder Di Nicola.
Here.
Freeholder Felice.
Here.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan.
Here.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Here.
Freeholder Zor.
Here.
Chairwoman Voss.
Here. There being a quorum, will you please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? And with former freeholder John Driscoll, please lead us in the pledge.
Thank you, Chairwoman Voss.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Will the clerk please read the minutes to be accepted?
Minutes to be approved are July 15, 2015 work session, Freeholder Gans absent. July 15, 2015 public session, Freeholder David Gans absent. August 12, 2015 work session, all present. August 19, 2015 work session, Freeholder Di Nicola and Freeholder Gans absent.
May I have a motion to accept the minutes?
Move the minutes.
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Abstain.
We will now have a presentation, and I'm going to turn the meeting over to Freeholder Di Nicola and Freeholder Sullivan, and the show is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This evening, we are going to take a resolution out of order, Resolution 999-15, a resolution encouraging real estate professionals to join an initiative to prevent the abuse of prescription drugs and its consequences. I know we're all very happy that this is on our agenda this evening, and I'd like to give you a little history about how this resolution came to be. The initiative actually came to me a while ago through the Center for Alcohol and Drug Resources and their community outreach agency, the Bergen County Prevention Coalition. And it's been percolating ever since. And when Freeholder Sullivan came on board, he made it one of his own priorities to take on the war on drugs. So together, we met with our own in-house directors and professionals to make this a reality this evening. Heroin use and deaths continue to surge, and it's our goal to grow the Army in the battle against this epidemic. And tonight, we ask real estate professionals throughout Bergen County to become a part of that Army. This resolution is truly one that is nonpartisan and a cooperative effort of agencies so that we can now ask real estate professionals to request that their clients lock up prescription drugs, which many of them already do, as they lock up their other valuables during open houses. Freeholder?
Thank you, Freeholder Di Nicola. First, I just want to state that every freeholder that we have here is on board with this initiative, and I'd like to commend all my colleagues. Freeholder Di Nicola and myself obviously may be the spokespeople for tonight, but all our colleagues really value what we're trying to do here. So regarding what Freeholder Di Nicola had just spoken about, it comes to our attention that at open houses, that these are the new targets for drug abusers. We all know that particularly when it comes to opiate addiction, that the users become very skilled at obtaining what they need. It's just something that they find a way to do what they need to do. It's what they live for. So very often the abusers are younger people. And last year alone in Bergen County, we had 46 related heroin opiate deaths. This has to stop. Before we ask our freeholder colleagues this evening for their support in voting for this legislation, I would like to invite up a few of those people that are named in the resolution, along with the parent advocate, whose beautiful 21-year-old was one of last year's overdose victims. It takes a lot for a parent to come up here and let everyone know what they went through. A lot of times people would rather just hide it and move on, but people like this, like Patty here, who's going to come up and share just a few words, it really puts a face to a name, and it really makes it really even that more powerful. So when we call them up, they will briefly explain the position and how that we can all help them through this resolution and beyond. So I'd like to call up Well, the names I call up, I ask you to please come up, and we're going to allow you to make a brief statement. But that would be Samantha Harris, the Executive Director for the Center on Alcohol and Drug Resources in Bergen County Prevention Coalition. Sue Debiak, Bergen County Department of Health Services, Coordinator of the Alcohol and Drug Dependency Services. Judy Foreman, Bergen County's Municipal Alliance Coordinator. Catherine Best, Government Relations at New Jersey Association of Realtors. Patty Trava, who's a parent advocate we spoke about earlier. And Ellen Elias, Children Aid and Family Services, Senior Vice President for Prevention and Community Services. And Liz Arabini, Assistant Prosecutor, Bergen County Prosecutor's Office, Community Outreach Liaison. Would you all please come forward to say a few words? I guess we could start with Samantha. Okay, approach the microphone. Thank you.
Good evening, Freeholder Sullivan, Freeholder DiNicola, and to the rest of the Freeholder Board. I cannot thank you enough for your support in recognizing this critical and truly important issue that faces our communities, our youth, our families, and our county as a whole. I have to just take a moment and share that while we have worked diligently with partners in the community to bring this to reality, the campaign was designed by some of our coalition members. We had a partnership with a graphic designer that helped us, and Freeholder DiNicola, listening to all of the efforts that we were putting forth. We know that the work that we do cannot be done unless it's done collaboratively, and that's why this is one of the reasons why this just means so much. When we start to do more follow-up on this very important initiative, and we can share that we have the support of the Bergen County Freeholders behind this initiative, it really will help to move this forward. And we look forward to coming back and sharing some of the wonderful results. And again, thank you. And I just have to recognize too that, again, some of our really strong partners are standing up here with us this evening, and I'm so grateful to be here with you. I feel very fortunate. Thank you very much.
Samantha.
Sue Debiak.
Good evening, Chairman Boss and all of our freeholders. I did meet with you just last week, and we spoke extensively about the situation with heroin in Bergen County. I just want to reiterate that we see our goal in the Office of Alcohol and Drug Dependency as twofold, as two-pronged, if you will. We work on prevention and treatment. It's a very, very important piece. Prevention is a very important piece of it, and again, we work with our partners in the community through the municipal alliances to make sure that we are making the community, parents, children, teachers, as knowledgeable as possible around what's happening with this heroin addiction. And so I want to thank the members of this community that we work with, and the prosecutor's office also, for working with us to fight this battle. It's a tough one.
Thank you, Sue. Judy Foreman, Bergen County Municipal Alliance Coordinator.
Good evening, and thanks so much for this opportunity and the support. The constant support really motivates us to continue to mobilize the community. As you know, I coordinate the municipal alliances in the county, and out of the 70 towns that we have 62 towns that have municipal alliances, which are community stakeholders coming together to implement prevention programs. And prevention is tough to monitor and to keep track of, because it's like standing on a corner and trying to figure out how many cars did not go by. But I know that we are making progress. I recently had, unfortunately, an opportunity where I had to be put on some medication for X amount of days, and I was given only the amount of pills for the 5 days, which is something that we haven't experienced. So I think with this education and with this constant communication and with this constant collaboration, we are taking baby steps and we are making progress. So again, I almost wanted to come up here and just say ditto to what they said, but we can't thank you enough for the ongoing support. It really does motivate us to continue this work and in the end, saving lives. So thank you.
Thank you. Next is Catherine Best, Government Relations at the New Jersey Association of Realtors.
Good evening. My name is Catherine Best, and I'm the Legislative and Grassroots Coordinator for the New Jersey Realtors. And I'm here this evening with members of the Eastern Bergen County Board of Realtors and the RealSource Association of Realtors, representing the 44,000 Realtor members across New Jersey. We applaud the Freeholders for your resolution encouraging all real estate licensees to inform their clients about prescription drug theft and ways to identify potential risks, especially during open houses. Our organization provides tools and tips to members to help them protect their clients, but additional measures from government are a wonderful way to also inform the general public. September is actually Realtor Safety Month, so this is very appropriately timed. New Jersey Realtors is hosting a safety webinar on September 10th, and the National Association is hosting several throughout the month to better inform members and provide the necessary tools to their clients, necessary tools to protect their clients' prescriptions and safety in general. In addition, materials are available for download on both the state and national Realtor websites for members to use and also provide their clients. Thank you for working with us on this important issue, and we look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have Patty Trava, who's the parent advocate that we spoke about. Patty, can you please say a few words?
Yes, good evening, and thank you all for having me. And thank you both to Maura DiNicola, Freeholder DiNicola, and of course to Freeholder Sullivan for involving me in this really tough issue. As was stated, I lost my daughter Kate about a year and a half ago to a heroin overdose. It was a 4-year struggle in and out of rehab facilities, and I really watched a bright, beautiful young lady just turn into, I shouldn't say this, but a monster. I mean, this is what this drug does to you. When Freeholder DiNicola first presented this resolution to me, or discussed it with me, because it has, as she said, been in the making for a while now, I thought, wow, they're really going into homes, their houses, during a open house and taking drugs. And then I thought about my daughter's use and how desperate she was. And I said, of course, why not? If they'll steal from you, they'll steal from their parents, their loved ones, they certainly will go into a stranger's home and get upstairs some way, any way they can, to look through the medicine cabinets and the bedside tables. So I can't begin to tell you how important this is. I know it's an incredible war on this drug, this epidemic, and sometimes it just almost feels hopeless. But when people are putting themselves forward and doing this, I know that, we do stand a chance. We have to continue to fight this in whatever way we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Ellen Elias, Children's Aid and Family Services.
Really, thank you. Along with everybody else, this has just been a long time coming, and you should know that it's really the first of its kind. There's no other, when we were looking at language to put something like this together a while ago, and I did my research, there is nothing like it any other place. So what you've done is groundbreaking. It stands before everybody to let everybody know how important this particular issue is, and you do it time and time again. I mean, all of us that read the newspaper, we can see and hear about all of the inroads and strides that you are making in your commitment, and that just stands very strong for all of us. So us on the ground and your leadership helps move this initiative forward, and we really do appreciate that. Just want to take a moment to tell you that I recently had an experience with a man who's 50 years old. So it's not just young people who are addicted to prescription pills. So a man who was 50 years old, about a year ago, had gone into detox, came back, started using again, relapsed. 6 months later, went back into rehab, again, relapsed. Well, so far, part of what he was not doing, in my opinion, on the right road was that he was going into detox and coming home and thinking that he can do it himself. And so he was able to go through detox, but then get linked up to an inpatient program. And now we have a plan for him when he leaves that inpatient program for what he's going to do for the next 4 months following, so we can give him the support that he needs. So helping people understand that prescription pills is just so prevalent and so easy to access, and it can lead to addiction and devastate individuals, families, and ultimately communities. So thank you again for all you do. Ellen, Elias. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Helen.
And then we have Liz Rabin, Assistant Prosecutor, Bergen County Prosecutor's Office.
Good evening. Thank you, Freeholder DiNicola, for inviting me to be here today on behalf of the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office. Prosecutor Molinelli asked me to convey our utmost support for this resolution and also to offer to you and to all of the agencies in Bergen County whatever resources we have available. We are obviously highly invested in putting an end to this problem in Bergen County. It's something that our office is working very hard to address, but recognize that there are many other agencies who are coming at it from a different direction. So we look forward to working with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to add one more thing. I know I've heard people saying that people want to do drugs, that's their problem, why should we help them? I would say, why shouldn't we help them? And we have people that come back from wars, we have people that fight overseas, we have people that have mental health issues, and I think it's our job to help these people. I've heard people that say it's not their problem, it's everybody's problem. When people go to use and they go, if they need a fix or whatever they need, they're going to beg, borrow, and steal from anybody, and that could be your home, that could be your family's home, that could put anybody that you love in harm's way. So yes, we are doing it to help these people get on the road to recovery, but there's also another side, and that's the safety of the public, and that's also important. Obviously, these lives matter, and we want to make sure they matter. So I want to thank everybody that was here. I want to thank Freeholder DiNicola and the entire Freeholder board for being behind this. But Freeholder DiNicola really took this to another level, and I appreciate it. Recently, Freeholder Zor had written a letter with myself and Freeholder Voss, and we asked for more detox beds. Now we know that the problem is after they get out of detox, we need to find a place for them, and we're working on it, people. We are going to do our best to get more long-term solutions in place. But just by that letter, we were able to, we received a letter back from Bergen Regional, they added 10 more detox beds. Now that doesn't sound like a big deal. Well, I think it is a big deal. It's like Freeholder Zor has said, if you turn a person away, maybe they're not ready to come back the next day. If they're there and they're ready to detox, 24 hours could be an eternity. I don't mean to steal her lines, but that's exactly what she said, and she's 100% correct. So just by all our initiatives here, the whole entire board, we're being heard, and it's very important. And thank you for everything you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if I could just add one statement to that, Freeholder Sullivan, and we've discussed this, it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter the community, it doesn't matter the ethnicity, the socioeconomic strata, it doesn't matter the gender. It's about every life that's struggling with this issue, and that's why we've done this. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Before we take the vote, would any of the freeholders like to speak? Freeholder Zor first.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. You know, just to underscore some of what Freeholder Sullivan touched upon, you know, there are actions that we are taking. This correspondence we've had with Bergen Regional has been positive, but more importantly, it's going to be an ongoing dialogue. We're going to be meeting with them, following up with them, and seeing what we can do to expand this beyond 10 beds so that no individual needing care is turned away, so that we can address these issues and stem this problem wherever we can. All of your efforts, I want to thank all of you who are here for your partnership in this with us so that we can continue moving towards solutions for this addictions. And as Freeholder Sullivan said, this isn't even one that costs taxpayers $1. This is common sense cooperation between the private sector and the public sector so that we can be moving in a direction of saving lives, saving families, and saving our community. So thank you all for all that you've done, and thank you, Freeholder Sullivan and Freeholder DiNicola, for spearheading this.
Freeholder Gaines.
I just want to say that drug addiction, heroin use can strike every family, every socioeconomic strata. My son Scott came back from military service in Afghanistan, and he was addicted and ultimately committed suicide. It can strike at every level. What I do know from what Scott went through is that in order to stop addiction, you have to change people, got to change places, and you have to change things. And this is a great start towards doing that. I congratulate you.
Freeholder Tinelli.
Thank you. I would just like to thank you all for the work that you do and for bringing it to our attention. Obviously, a simple letter made a big change already with the 10 extra beds. So the more we find out about, the more we're able to act. So I want to thank you for your time and your dedication.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you as well. So much has been said this evening. An epidemic that needs to be addressed. And whatever we can do, the first step is awareness. The second step is to take action, which my colleagues have done. I just hope that as we move forward with the Bergen Regional assessment of who manages that facility in the future, that is one of the top priorities, or will be one of the top priorities for that committee. So again, thank you, Freeholder Sullivan and Dina Cola, for spearheading this, and I think it is without question a unanimous support on this board. So thank you.
Yeah, I think this, once again, is an example of how bipartisan this group really is. And I have to say that several families in our Bergen County family have suffered great losses. And we are all absolutely committed to working with you and to doing whatever we can. One of the things that shocked me more than anything, because I could never understand why this has become such an epidemic, is that heroin is cheaper than alcohol. And we've got to stop this horrible, horrible epidemic. I get a little of that. I taught kids for many, many years, and I've seen this firsthand, so I know. Okay? Freeholder DiNicola and Freeholder Sullivan, thank you for spearheading this, and would you two like to be the first and second to make the motion on this resolution?
Absolutely.
Freeholder DiNicola will make the motion. I'll gladly second.
Okay. And may we have a roll call?
Freeholder DiNicola?
Yes.
Freeholder Felice?
Yes.
Freeholder Gans?
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan?
Yes.
Freeholder Tinelli?
Yes.
Freeholder Sore?
Yes.
Chairwoman Voss?
Yes. Now we have some citations that we want to present, and we'd like to take a picture. So, freeholders and representatives. This will be the center of attention. Okay?
Yes.
It's located on Borough Park, which is where all the baseball fields are.
Oh, it's I was going to say, how did they do that? Because it's pretty close.
Good choice for you.
I'm pretty good distance.
There's no room in front.
Bounce it out. I got my shot. I had my tetanus shot.
She's not kidding though.
You're hilarious.
Misbehaving.
Did I ever tell you the story of North Wellington's Day? It has an emergency button.
Yeah, but it doesn't work. This is
No,
plugged in.
we had a panic button in North Wellington by the days. So one, that was like maybe my second week. I'm like, what's this thing? So it looks like a bottle flicking. Like within a minute, 2 cops came flying up the steps. Everything okay? It was like, what happened? I go, don't touch that.
You missed orientation, did you?
No,
Missed orientation.
missed a lot of things.
Slid.
Okay.
I'm not the chair.
Every time. I know what you're doing on purpose. Yeah. Well, you just pulled my pen and broke it.
Not always that easy.
Come here.
Storm. Mine's fine.
Apparently. Work once. All right.
Okay, please come to order, and may I have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Second?
Second.
Yoo-hoo. All those in favor?
Back it again.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We will now have a hearing of the from the
Better
general
knock it
public.
again.
Hit it again.
I know how to use this. And I have a teacher voice, so. We will now have the hearing open to the general public with a 3-minute time limit in effect. The board attorney will keep the time. When the time of the speaker expires, the timekeeper will announce that the time has expired. Please, if you haven't already, and we have quite a few, fill out one of these little cards and we'll start. Okay, Peter Banyan. Yes, come up to the...
Eli Bob Aikman,
Speak.
It's my first time here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. You can come and you can talk about whatever topic you wish to talk about. You have 3 minutes. You don't have to use all 3 minutes. But if you go over 3 minutes, the gentleman over here will tell you your time has expired. Okay?
No, we won't.
So,
I received a letter from Maura regarding the meeting tonight for the real estate open houses, and I came to participate and be part of it. So I'm here to help. Whatever I can do individually. I'm a real estate broker. My office is here right here in Hackensack. So I live in Norwood, and I'd like to volunteer for any help you fellows, both of you need.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Take that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Charlie. Wilczynski.
I don't want to mess it up. Amy? I don't want to mess up your name, Wilczynski.
Councilman from Allendale. Really?
I know. Talking about a topic very near and dear to many of our hearts. So,
Yes, my name is Amy Wilczynski, Wilczynski. I just had my reunion last weekend. I was Healy for the weekend. It was great. To Chairwoman Voss and the rest of the freeholders, on behalf of the Mayor and Council in Allendale, on behalf of the Bell House Board, We wanted to say thank you, thank you, thank you. As you know, it has been a very long road. Our application was, I think, 1 in a million. It was completely unique, and we had to work through the process, and that's what we did. And I think the results were very, very fair. I'd like to especially thank Freeholder Tonelli and Freeholder Gantz from the very beginning. We started, I think, with a breakfast, and then we went into the office, and we were all trying to figure out how to make this work. And you gave us great guidance, pushed us to the Open Space Trust Fund Committee, and under the guidance of Bob Abitamarco and Adam Strobel, we also went through the entire process, went and had our vote again, and everything turned out great. So we are very happy. We just had a board meeting. Our board it's amazing the difference without having this black cloud over our head. So it is wonderful. The ideas are flowing, and we look forward to you all coming to our having one of your meetings at our Fell House. So
that'd be great.
Sounds like a plan.
Right.
In costume.
We have lots of events, and we will definitely keep everybody in the loop. So thank you again.
We're very happy.
I'm just going to say ditto. Suzanne, S-U-S-A-N-N-E, Lovisolo, L-O-V-I-S-O-L-O. Thank you. Ditto to everything Amy said. I can't thank you all enough. From visiting the house to meeting with us personally to just the show of support you've given us, it has been incredible. And I also think it's very fitting that John Driscoll is here tonight, because this did start many, many years ago with his support in trying to also help us work through this. So I want to thank John also. I appreciate that too. So thank you all, and I do appreciate your support.
Tonelli.
Just really quickly, I just want to remind the board that I guess it was a little over a year ago, I came to this board with a resolution asking to modify some of the rules that open space operates under, specifically tailored for this problem. What happened was about property values and the sale price, and it just, whatever was approved by open space was nullified by county council, and that started to snowball downhill, where they had a very big nut to try and make to satisfy this, even though open space voted yes on funding the purchase of the building. So it just started snowballing. So it was not just tonight, we're solving the problem finally tonight, but it was the work of this board bipartisanly that we changed a little bit of the way open space worked to be able to solve this problem. And I have to be honest with you, a lot of it came from the meeting that we sat with then Chairman Gans, who was rattling off ideas one right after the other on how to solve this problem. Some of them didn't stick, some of them, part of them stuck. But it was that meeting really that started really getting the wheels spinning on trying to come up with a creative way of resolving this. I tell you, I can't be happier that tonight's resolution solves that.
And one final thank you. On behalf of the board of the John Fell House, I have to thank our Councilwoman Amy Willazinski, who has really put in a tremendous
lot of emails,
as you know. So,
thank you.
Thank you, Chairwoman.
Freeholder Gantz, do you want to say something?
No.
Oh, anyone else? Okay. Thank you. We're all very, very happy. Former Freeholder John Driscoll, would you like to come up?
I started the clock already.
And remember, 3 minutes. You're not stepping on your First Amendment rights.
That's okay. I never believed in limits anyway, so. But it's nice walking in here every now and then, because you go walk down memory lane. Some years they were good, some years they weren't so good. But I do want to applaud Freeholder Nicola, who was my vice chair. And I won't say you're the same person, but you're slowly approaching to becoming the new conscience of the board. When I was in there in 2010, we had a freeholder who sat right where Freeholder Czar is sitting. And I called her the Jiminy Cricket of the board. She was our conscience. Every time we started straying, Liz Calabrese brought us right back. And the big difference between you and Freeholder Calabrese was you don't get combat pay. You're on the nice side of the dais. That's what we called it when I was up there. Freeholder Calabrese had to sit between Rob Hermanson and Jimmy Carroll. And as Freeholder Gans knows, and as Mr. Florio knows, some of those nights are pretty interesting. We were bipartisan also.
And long.
Nothing wrong with long. Call free open dialogue. We had a lot of dialogue back then. We got a lot of things accomplished. Some you won, some you lost. I lost more than I won, though. But it was fun, though. It was a learning experience. But I want to go back to something that started way back then. And I spoke to many of you, was the Bergen County Special Services is finally opening tomorrow morning. I toured the facility with my son Alec, who is going to be going there. And as I walked around the building, the teachers were asking me, Freeholder, what's the problem? I said, stop calling me Freeholder. There's 7 other people that are freeholders now. I'm just John now. That's all I am, just John. And they must have seen it in these old Irish eyes starting to well up. Because I looked around, I told Freeholder Gans, looking around that building, yeah, I did something good in 3 years. And those long nights that we were here until midnight and we stopped the clock for budget votes, I did something good in those 3 years, as did many freeholders that came before me and after me. I remember the night before the election in 2011 when then Chairman Carroll came up to me and he said, kid, he said, I'm going to give you one. He said, it's simple. Next year we're going to bring those kids from Rockley and bring them down. We're going to build them a new school on that disastrous of a site of the JDC that's over in Paramus. And for those of you who don't know about the JDC in Paramus, the way it used to look, I wouldn't even put a rat in there overnight. That's how disgraceful that was. And I'm not pointing fingers because that was both sides of the aisle that let that thing go to pot. And it was terrible. So something as good is coming out of that property. And those children are not going to want for anything. And it's about time. They don't get much in this world. But they're going to have excellent facilities to get them on their way in their lives. And that's why my son Alec is going there. Because I believe in the Bergen County Special Services school system. They're top notch. School districts go to our county school system to get trained. So why go to the trainees when you go to the trainer? That's the way I look at it. Okay, thank you very much, and thank you, Mr. Florio, for reminding me I ran out of
time. Okay. Joseph Dunsey.
Good morning, I'm Joseph Dunsey from River Ridge. Today I'd like to talk about extending the Hackensack River Walkway from its current terminal at the border of Route 4 all the way up to the border of River Ridge and Hackensack along Commerce Way. I brought a bit of a sketch to show you guys. So what I did was I took a photograph of the property map so you can see who owns the property, and then I just drew a line of the extension. So if you hold it like this, Route 4 is at the bottom and North will be at the top. Now, right now the Hackensack River Walkway stops at Route 4. So we would have to go underneath Route 4 along the river. Now if you look at Saddlebrook, I've ridden in it, and it has a place where it goes underneath the bridge with a boardwalk. So that's technically feasible. Now the next property is owned by the county. It's the County Hackensack Park behind Riverside Square Mall. And then the next strip of land is behind the mall with the Home Depot. And that's also owned by the county. It's not turned into a park, it's just wilderness. I bushwhacked through it. It's not too bad. I mean, you'll have to cut down some trees, but for the length of the walkway, it wouldn't impact the environment too much. Now, this road up here on the northern end of Hackensack is Commerce Way. And the property at the dead end of Commerce Way is privately owned, so that would have to be acquired, but you just need a small sliver of it to continue the rest of the pathway. So that would take you all the way up to Commerce Way. At the dead end of Commerce Way, I would like to see a small pocket park with some bicycle parking, a bench, some tables, some chairs, so that there's a place for people to congregate, maybe have lunch, because there are some businesses along there. So I think that would make it a more attractive place for people to do some shopping and to do some business. I talked to one of the business owners along Commerce Way, and she mentioned the need for better sidewalks. So as part of the project, I'd like to see the sidewalks improved all the way along Commerce Way. Right now, there are some sidewalks, but not along the whole street. So it has to be the sidewalks have to be continued so that pedestrians can get through the whole street. And along Commerce Way, I would have a shared lane for bikes and cars. There's not much car traffic, so that type of arrangement is feasible. But for the rest of the pathway that goes through the marshes and woods, that would be shared with cyclists and pedestrians the way the Hackensack River Walk currently is as it goes through Johnson Park, FDU, and behind the technical school.
3 minutes, Mr. Benson.
Well, that's everything for today. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Joe Gautier.
That it's feasible.
Hello, everyone. With Labor Day right around the corner, I would be remiss if I didn't, as Union President, say a few words about labor and about this great day. As you probably know, Labor Day was enacted to honor all the contributions labor unions have made to this great country. On a national level, without the labor unions, we would not have the infrastructure or the strong government that has made the U.S. the prosperous superpower that it is today. On a local level, every day here in Bergen County, we are lucky to have our members, part of the public sector USWU union, working tirelessly to make Bergen County an even better place to live. So, and I thank you for your part in that, and have a happy and safe Labor Day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
David Pringle.
Pringle, like the potato chip, peas and Peter, R-I-N-G-L-E. Oh, come on, you've heard that one before. Nice to see you again, Chairwoman. We missed you in Trenton. Again, my name is David Pringle. I'm the campaign director for Clean Water Action, which is a national environmental group. We have 1 million members nationally, 150,000 in New Jersey, and over 10,000 in Bergen County. And I live in Cranford, but obviously represent a lot of folks in Bergen County, and my wife works in Paramus. Here tonight, thank you for your leadership in expressing concerns and trying to get a much better handle on the safety and many other issues around the oil bomb trains coming down from Albany. But urge you to expand that concern to the Pilgrim Oil Pipeline. While the details are different, the basics are the same for opposing both of them. They both are transporting Bakken crude oil, which you may know is significantly more volatile than typical crude oil, so it's much more dangerous, whether it's on a pipeline or a barge or a train. It decreases property values in the area. It is a major drinking water concern. The pipeline obviously isn't going directly over the Oradell Reservoir like the train line does, but is going directly over the Ramapo Valley Aquifer, the Ramapo River, both of which are significant water supplies for Bergen County. It crosses the Passaic River 3 times, and while the Passaic isn't a direct water supply for Bergen, it is an indirect one because of the interconnects between the various water systems. Being from Union County, I apologize, I read the ledger more than the record, but at least in the ledger today, they had a story about the Oradell Reservoir is significantly below levels for this, even for this time of year. And when that happens, we're taking water from other places like the Passaic Valley. So it is a very significant drinking water threat. And finally, it's not a choice of which is one is better than the other. They're all very dangerous. And Pilgrim has made very clear that they're not talking about taking cars off the rail. This is in addition to, not instead of. For all those reasons, we oppose it and urge you to do so as well. You may or may not know the Assembly and the Senate have already passed resolutions. Bipartisan Bergen County support. How often do Senator Cardinale and O'Toole and Weinberg and Sarlo and Gordon all agree they do on this one? Every county the pipeline goes through, except Bergen County, has already passed a resolution. Every town that goes through has passed a resolution. So no offense, but you're kind of sticking out like a sore thumb. So we want that to stop. And I think the reason we're especially bringing it to your attention now is we've recently learned that the county has granted access to Pilgrim to survey their lands. And we urge you to not only oppose the pipeline, but rescind that. It's not a done deal. You don't have to do it. It is a significant way for, a lot of the decisions may be out of Bergen County's control, but this is one way you can stop it and oppose it. And that's happening in other pipelines, and that is a significant hurdle for them to get over. So please pass a resolution and rescind permission to survey and for any other purpose Pilgrim would have on Bergen County open space lands.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Paul Smith.
S-M-I-T-H, you got it. Paul Smith, and I'm here with Food and Water Wash New Jersey, and I really would just like to echo Mr. Pringle's sentiments. I would like to express my concern that I hope that you also consider rescinding the permission to survey for Pilgrim Pipeline. Really just comes out of concern for our drinking water. Short but sweet, but that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brendan Keating.
Yep, Brendan Keating, Chatham Borough in Morris County. I'm actually running for freeholder in Morris County, so I guess you haven't met too many people that say when I grow up I want to be a freeholder, so. I want to be one just like you are. I'm also here speaking about Pilgrim Pipeline. I've been very active in Morris County and specifically in my area, in the Chathams and the southeastern part of the county. But I was urged by a lot of the activists to come up here today and kind of bring, I wouldn't say the pressure, but just kind of let you know that we have taken it very, very seriously where we're from, and I know that you guys are taking it seriously too. The pipeline on the map, where the preliminary map would be about 100 yards from my house, and about 100 yards that way is a school, and then a little bit further uptown it's less than 50 yards from the school. So there's the impact of everything that's going on in Bergen County, but part of the reason we want you to stand with us is because of the totality of the project, all the way from Albany down to where they say they're going to end up in Linden. These things really do affect real people, and it goes next to swing sets. And the last thing that we really need is, a problem where real, working people get hurt. And I guess lastly, one of the things that I like to point out that not everybody necessarily gets is that we know that this is a temporary energy source. If we drill the heck out of this stuff like they say we're going to, we've got it for maybe 50 to 75 years max. Putting a pipeline in the ground is a permanent infrastructure investment, and it's not coming out. The first oil pipeline to go through New Jersey went through in the 1880s. It went through New York State, down through here, down through the Highlands, and it's still on the ground. The solutions we have today aren't perfect. Statistics say that they're getting better. And the thing that I would just like to say is, we can continue to make the investments to make them better, but the last thing that we really want to do is have another one of these, what could potentially be an environmental disaster, stuck in the ground for the next 150 years, because it's not getting dug back up. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you. Nadia Hussein. Moral support.
N-A-D-I-A. Hi, everybody. N-A-D-I-A. Hussein, H-U-S-S-A-I-N. Hi, everybody. I am short, obviously. My name is Nadia Hussein. I live in Passaic County in Patterson. This is Zakir. And this is actually his first freeholder meeting. So Bergen was honored with it, not Passaic. And maybe he'll be a freeholder one day. But so as like I just said, I want him to be a freeholder one day. I want there to be a good example set for him. New Jersey has a national reputation as being dirty Jersey. I'm just not being politically correct. I'm telling you how it is. People look at the state as the armpit of America. Why? They look at it because of the pollution in the state and because of what the state looks like. Now, that pollution has been long running. It's because there have been politicians and elected officials that sat here like you did today and made those decisions to allow companies to come in and destroy the environment of New Jersey. Now, I'm sure they had good intentions. They thought it would create jobs. They thought that maybe it was for the best of the state. But as we've seen, it's really not been what's been the best for the state. So I'm here as somebody who, yes, lives in Patterson, but I work near Mahwah. I work in Bergen County. His family, his aunts and uncles all live in upstate New York, where the pipeline would be around. So this is something that impacts me for miles and miles of the pipeline. And I'm here to ask you that to think about the future of New Jersey, to think about the children that come after you, children like him, the other children who are not in this room today, for a mother that came out all the way to a freeholders meeting with a baby, past his bedtime, to really say that the future of New Jersey should be about renewable energy, should be about investing in renewable energy, clean energy, not investing in more pipelines, investing in more gas and sorry, not gas, in more oil just coming back and forth, back and forth. This is not in lieu of something. It's on top of something. It's on top of more environmental damage and damaging environmental transportation for damaging materials that will hurt our environment. So please look at Zakir. Look at the face of maybe your nieces, sons, daughters, grandchildren, and think about your legacy that you're going to leave for New Jersey. So I know that other counties and cities and areas of the state have already passed resolutions, and I don't see a point in holding out anymore. I think it's time to make the right decision. I think it's time to take the brave step forward for our future generations, put forth a resolution against this pipeline, and also please rescind and prevent any more surveying of the areas. Thank you.
Madam Chair, could I ask a question? A number of members of the public at this meeting and prior meetings have said that the Freeholder Board granted permission for a survey by Pilgrim, but I don't understand where that came from, and it didn't happen. Certainly,
Yeah, we didn't praise it.
Right.
I don't believe we authorized any.
No, we haven't, and I think we need to set the record straight on that.
I agree. You know, okay. Karen Vargas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Karen Vargas, and I live in Maywood, New Jersey. And I just wanted to say that over the past year, you have demonstrated a complete lack of transparency on both the Pilgrim Pipeline and the oil trains that threaten Bergen County residents. And we have every right to know what previous decisions have been made that could impact the freeholders' ability to publicly oppose the Pilgrim Pipeline. Okay, I'm very worried about this, and I'm a resident of Bergen County, and I would not like to see the water and the property be damaged, especially, since we all have to live here. And I think we should, come to a decision together that will help the county and the environment and our drinking water. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be meeting with the food and water people next week, definitely. Okay.
Madam Chair,
yes.
if I can just set the record straight. There's just an assertion that we haven't been transparent regarding the trains. We have had public meetings, we've been completely open regarding, and we've been at the forefront of advocating against the transportation of by trains, working with CSX on a lot of issues. I actually was at a meeting on Wednesday with Senator Booker, the county executive, and a whole host of mayors pushing and talking about the changes that we need to be seeing for our communities, making sure that we have better access to information about the chemicals that are being transported through our communities, better information, and actually one of the items on our agenda tonight that we have taken on non-consent so we can speak about is a rail advocating for the Crude by Rail Safety Act. So we have been very vocal about our opposition and really the need for there to be funding for our first responders to have, and the information that our first responders need to apply, for safety standards, for the double hold trains, for the whole host of that. So I take issue as far as the lack of transparency on any of this, because we have been very, very clear about our positions as far as that is concerned. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I was also going to mention that, we've been doing quite a lot, because 11 of our towns have very close houses to the very dangerous parts of the road. We have had training for emergency management people. We've had many, many meetings. We're very much upfront with what we're trying to do, and I have to agree with Freeholder Zur that we have been very, very, very concerned and active in this area. Annie Martinez. Sorry about that.
No worries. Thank you so much. Real quick, I'm a mother of 2 boys, and I live in East Rutherford, and I strongly oppose the Pilgrim Pipeline. I hope that you do continue being transparent, because that's important, and that definitely gets us to a place where we can all find a resolution. So thank you for hearing us.
Thank you. Mark Niederman.
Niederman. Yes. Hi, thank you for allowing us to speak tonight. I'm here with my son Jacob. We live in Wyckoff, New Jersey, and we have some concerns about the pipeline. We like to go hang out and hike in Grand Paul Reserve, and we were really surprised that the path of the pipeline is cutting right through that recreational area, which is also a watershed. So we just wanted to come tonight and thank you for your efforts in watching for our safety to this point, and hope that you'll continue to do so.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Paul Nichols. Paul here? There he is.
Hello, good evening. Good to see you again. Paul Nichols, CKELS. Tonight, I wanted to bring up, I seen like 4 or 5 days ago, and just got a release today, but 4 or 5 days ago I spoke to a woman down in ADV about a new, not new, but they're now taking volunteers for the domestic violence crisis response team, if you will, for lack of better terms. And again, no offense to whoever does the website, it's confusing. I couldn't find the application, but I did call over there and spoke to a couple people. They explained what it is, but I still can't find the thing, the application for it. So I would like someone to maybe help me out with that. But and even though when we spoke, even though I don't have a car, I could still get to the 20-minute radius outside this town, my own town. I know how it works. When I used to work on the freeway, I've handled some domestic violence cases up front, and as you know, I know resources, and I just try and help people. So I think a lot of people think I'd be a good candidate for that, and I would hope that when I do find the application and fill it out, that you'd all think about that. But on a good note, it was nice to see Dr. Mangieri earlier in the meeting, because I wanted to give you some updates. There are no coincidences about what all we're talking about, and I wore the shirt because I want to update you. Hackensack is back to be stigma-free.
Right.
We're doing, we had the National Night Out, and I'll be collecting resources. We'll all be collecting resources and giving it to Al over there at the town to start up put on their website, and we all got, a bunch of us did the 8-hour course with Dr. Mangieri. She's awesome. We got our certificates. So, a bunch of us are trained in mental health and substance. Of course, you all know I know pretty much about substance abuse and mental illness, and there's, I mean, I'm working on the homeless list right now and working with shelter really closely, and there's a lot of drugs and stuff out there, and it's really it's sad, and I think you know, I mean, there's a lot of people also going to be losing their places because they're. I see some people at
3 minutes, Mr. Nichols.
Okay, I'm sorry. See some people at our church, and you know, and then during the day you see them, they're all on drugs and stuff. So, but thank you.
Thank you. And we have another Paul Nichols.
That's right. Have to spell it correctly.
Paul Nichols, Nichols. If you've been checking your junk mail, you'll see that I've been trying to raise some, spread the word about the Bergen County NAACP's Freedom Fund Gala. So I brought you guys a very limited edition poster, which I hope you'll find someplace to put this. I expect I'm going to see all of you guys there October 3rd. It's a major fundraiser for the Bergen County NAACP. $100 is a donation for the ticket, which gets you a 1-year membership, which I hope you all are members of the Bergen County NAACP. And just to let you know, there's other opportunities to, if you can't be there, to support the group with ad journals, ads in the journal, the program. And I left all that information for you guys. And if anybody's moved by these words, I have tickets with me. And if not, you can visit bergennaacp.org and you can buy tickets online. So,
Thank you.
Barbara Stomber, I hope I pronounced that properly.
Stomber, S-T-O-M-B-E-R. Good evening, everyone. In light of the explosive Black Megantic rail disaster in Canada, where close to 50 people were killed and the town devastated, I'm sure you've watched from Bergen County towns such as Teaneck, oil trains proceed perilously along a deteriorating infrastructure close to schools, playgrounds, and residences. I have, and it's absolutely terrifying to me. Have you ever seen the iconic Yellowstone River and the breathtaking scenery that surrounds it? I have, and it was heartbreaking to learn of the pipeline spill of over 50,000 gallons of Bakken crude oil into its translucent waters. Have you ever gone into a bird sanctuary and found oil slicks lining the very waters that are meant to preserve the declining number of birds that depend on places like this to survive? I have. I've seen that at the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Although we are now in a drought situation, we have been blessed with plentiful water in our region, but we know that water contamination is not a product of only third world countries. It is real and happening increasingly in our country as well. The Pilgrim Pipeline would be the first major oil pipeline to cut through New Jersey's environmentally sensitive areas, including the Highlands, which supplies over 5 million New Jerseyans with drinking water. Pope Francis has recently written an encyclical on the importance of protecting creation and our planet. It is my hope that you take his words to heart. You are here to protect our citizens, their drinking water, and their environment. Do the right thing. Oppose the Pilgrim Pipeline. Thank you very much.
Chuck Powers.
Chuck Powers, Teaneck. I'll be quick tonight. I just want to make sure that everybody that is watching this tonight and here tonight knows that we actually now have a date for the forum for the Freeholders election, which is occurring on the 3rd of November. Several of you folks will be pretty deeply involved in that, and some of you have already committed to being there on October 15th between that's a Thursday evening, between 7 and 9. almost certain to be at the Teaneck Library, but that's still to be finally decided. But I thought that you should know as soon as possible, and so should all those who will be watching. Thanks very much. You are obviously engaged in a whole series of really important initiatives, like the one you were taking on heroin, and in the middle of some very important controversial questions. And I'm very glad to see that we can again provide a forum for all the participants in the election, so that the positions you will be taking, both on issues directly related to the county, but also more generally using the freeholders as a place to sort of take on the larger moral questions, will be discussed, and we're looking forward to that forum. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeff Rappaport.
R-A-P-A-P-O-R-T. Thank you. As before, I don't have a whole lot to say. It's become clear to me that water flow and environmental risk doesn't know political boundaries. Doesn't know which way the water is going to be flowing at a given point in time. We have incredible people studying this, and I hope you read the report that was provided to you by the Oakland Environmental Commission. It's just the risks associated with leaks and spills of the pipeline are just enormous, and I just hope you do that. I'm not a scientist, but I've come to the conclusion that this offers significant risk to our whole region. It's not just Passaic County or Morris County. It affects all of us, because what you decide affects me. And I think you can help out enormously by just thinking this out a little bit more. And I'm not saying you haven't, I don't know, because I haven't heard anything. But I would like to know your positions on this key issue. I only became active about a year and a half ago when I was about to become a grandfather, when I became a grandfather. And I feel very strongly about what we're doing. I hope that you take a position, let us know how you feel. I'm personally active in both the Citizens Against the Pilgrim Pipeline and the Coalition Against Unsafe Oil Trains. Both have incredibly good people working really hard on this issue. And I have never seen such cross-agreement that both issues are significant. This is cross-party. In New Jersey, it's cross-party lines. It's been just incredible to see the legislature and the Senate, Democrats and Republicans, coming together on this, because it's important. I urge you to let us know your thinking on this. I know it's a lot easier to approach some issues than others, because pipelines are incredibly complicated. But as Barbara said, the leak in Montana, which if it happened here, could wipe out our water supply, it's just significant. The one in California, I mean, these are pipelines that are supposed to have been not even needed to do a review for at least 5 more years. One of them was 3 years old.
3 minutes, Mr.
And the water flow came right against it. Thank you, and what you're doing is really important here, and thank you.
Thank you. Peggy Ghost.
Hi. This is the article that we've mentioned already that was in the front page of the Record today. I really don't think we need to keep coming here reminding our freeholders that Bergen County is dependent on surplus water resources from the Wanakee Reservoir. Right now, as we speak, United Water is taking water from the reservoir, from Wanakee Reservoir, for the rest of Bergen County, because they need the surplus water. What will it take for our elected representatives to realize that the threat Pilgrim Pipeline presents to our irreplaceable drinking water supplies and resources in the Highlands? An oil spill contaminating either the Ramapo River aquifer, the Wanacue Reservoir, and or the Passaic River would create a public health crisis beyond any comprehension. And I know, with all due respect, I think it's wonderful that you're addressing double-hulled trains and looking at the train issue, but we also have made it very clear to you. And I think if you look at the research that we've given you, pipelines represent a very significant risk to our water resources. Significant. It would be unimaginable if a leak occurred on the Ramapo Mountains and went down into the river. And right in Mawa, we have 8 wellheads right at the Ramapo River where it would come down into. We have been coming to you, our elected representatives, with questions so that we can better understand what is being done to address these risks. Yet still, we don't have any answers. Why was a non-utility for-profit oil company given special survey permission on public-owned lands without any public notification or consultation? How can we justify giving this private oil company survey permission in public counties, in Bergen County, the most environmentally sensitive watershed lands? Why are elected freeholders cooperating with the plans of a private company, for-profit oil company, while refusing to even meet with us? And I know you've now said you'll meet with us, but it took a lot to get that. It's a big deal. Other risky and environmentally destructive pipeline proposals like Penn East are being stalled due to the lack of access to the route for surveying. The survey permission given by Adam Strobel, your employee, is tantamount to endorsing the project. Adam Strobel is the project manager for the Ramapo Mountains County Park Management Plan, a division of open space planning and economic development. Why did he give out this permit? Is it part of the Bergen County Parks Plan? Is it part of your overall open space planning and economic development plan? Who has the answers to these questions? Have you communicated with Adam Strobel and asked him why he issued it?
3 minutes, Ms. Post.
Why are we Bergen County residents and our constituents being kept in the dark? We're asking for a meeting with the Bergen County Freeholders and Mr. Strobel to answer our questions, and we would like the survey permits revoked and a resolution passed to oppose this pipeline. Thank you.
Thank you. Don Senna.
I'm from Oakland. I'd just like to say, you've heard so much already, but I find it very hard to understand why the freeholders have not acted in passing a resolution to oppose this pipeline, which is a threat to the drinking water for thousands of Bergen County residents and millions of New Jersey residents. Please act. Thank you.
Michael Pritchard.
Good evening, Dr. Boyd.
Good evening.
Good evening. It's about the Ramapo River and the pipeline. P-R-I-T-C-H-A-R-D. It's about that. And what it is I looked at and I asked the question of pipeline failures in the United States from the year 2000 to the 10th of July this year, 353. They broke down to 51% for gas, but 49% for oil products. Now you're running this pipeline through this aquifer. Now that aquifer affects not only the 5 towns in northwest Bergen, but I also look at the water fountain right here on the 5th floor. So you see, it drove me to find out what is the water resources and how we transport water in the state of New Jersey. And that led from the Ramapo River going to Pompton Lake. And at that point there, the North Jersey Water Supply District enters the picture. They can take water from that lake, or let it go over the dam, go down and join the Pompton River, and at the confluence of the Passaic and Pompton River, and that's at two bridges in Lincoln Park, they have a 102-inch diameter aqueduct. going back up to the Montague Reservoir. 102 inches is bigger than the walls of your house, because the walls in your house are only 96 inches. That's how big it is. Now, at that point there, they then stand there and they will ship water down to Pompton Lakes, where United Water has a pumping station. And there it joins the Oradell Aqueduct. And the Oradell Aqueduct, on average, delivers to the Oradell Reservoir 39,500,000 gallons of water a day. Which means we now are affected, the citizens of central Bergen County and eastern Bergen County. We're also affecting the citizens of northern Hudson County, because that franchise goes down to Weehawken. We're also affecting, by polluting that, the city of Newark. They get their water from it. I have that all here in documentation from the North Jersey Water Supply District. I also have the article that built this thing, which was a collaboration between the old Hackensack Water Company and the North Jersey Water Supply District. And they went ahead and built this in 1985. That's why I remember that, because I also remember the pipe going to Oakland. You know, so, but that's what you're talking about. We're not talking about 5 towns in northwest Bergen County. You're talking about eastern and central Bergen County. You're talking about North Hudson Bergen County. He says, and you're talking about Essex and Passaic County. There's a lot of people involved with this. So this is what we're talking about, and that's why I like to put it as, we're also talking about the water fountain on the 5th floor here, because when I come into this building about 2 or 3 times a month, I always get a thing of water from it. And I don't like diesel oil, but I do have that here, and I don't think you would like that either, because that's what you're talking about. You know, a lot of things, the quality of the water. And remember, you can live without gasoline, but you can't live without water.
3 minutes, Mr. Pritchard.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Put it in orange dot so you can see what I'm talking about. It's the fine print.
Matt Smith.
Good evening, Matt Smith. I'm an organizer with Food and Water Watch. We're a national nonprofit, and we represent over 1,000 members here in Bergen County. I'm also here tonight to talk about the Pilgrim Pipeline. I first want to thank Chair Voss for agreeing to have a meeting with representatives from our coalition against Pilgrim Pipeline. We've been coming to the last several freeholder meetings to share our concerns, and it's good to know that they are being heard. I do want to clarify the issue around survey permission. In previous statements I made, it was always Bergen County granting the permission, and because Adam Strobel works for the county and the county employees are accountable to the freeholder board, sort of the buck stops with you when these decisions are made. The only reason why we know the survey permission was granted is through a open public records request that we submitted, which showed us documentation that Adam Strobel had granted special survey permission for this private oil company to survey with the intent to build a pipeline through our watershed lands that are protected by the Highlands Act, and particularly they exclude any pipeline developments within the conservation area of the Highlands, and for good reason. That's where, as we've heard, millions of Bergen County residents and New Jersey residents get their drinking water from. Yet the survey permission that was granted to Pilgrim, in light of no other public position being taken by the freeholders, you can see how that could be misconstrued as an endorsement of the project and allowing it to move forward.
And can I just stop 1 second?
Sure.
He's an employee of the county that reports to the
County
administrator and the county executive, not to the freeholder board.
Yeah.
So I know it seems like the buck stops to the freeholder board, but that's not the case.
That's not the
So I
case.
just want to clarify that.
As
He's
you know,
an
constituents, our only outlet for recourse is the freeholders. And if the people we elect into office can't address these issues, then who can for us?
Well, you just elected the county. You just elected the county executive. Go ahead, finish. I don't mean to
Sure.
interrupt you. Finish.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Stop the clock. All right, finish, then I'll comment.
Thank you. And I think more than anything else, we're hearing a lot of concern, a lot of frustration, even a lot of anger. You know, this isn't an isolated pipeline. This is about turning New Jersey into a corridor for the dirtiest fuels on the planet. We're facing a 20 times increase in the amount of Bakken crude transport that's coming through our state in oil by rail. This is threatening the very lives of the people that live in Bergen County. We applaud the freeholders' efforts so far in publicly opposing and showing concern on that issue. What we're asking for is the same level of concern for the millions of people who depend on the clean drinking water that is threatened by the Pilgrim Pipeline. I also just want to finally touch on the fact that these issues are completely part of the same. Not only very literally would a spill impact not just the drinking water for northwestern Bergen County, but also, as Michael just described, it would impact regional drinking water for the entire county, and vice versa should an oil train derail and release oil into the Ordell Reservoir. But the fact of the matter is that this pipeline will not alleviate oil trains. Pilgrim Pipeline explicitly stated this is about removing barges. It has nothing to do with oil trains. Phillips Bayway Refinery, the refinery that Pilgrim is proposing to send this oil to, is investing heavily in new rail offloading facilities. They are investing in rail. So Pilgrim Pipeline is not going to be a solution. We need a solution for the oil trains, but Pilgrim Pipeline is not that solution. What we're asking for is a unified position against both of these forms of unsafe, dirty, hazardous forms of transporting some of the worst and most corrosive and combustible oil on the planet through our watersheds and through our communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Kerry Spitz.
Hi, my name's Carrie Spitz, and I'm from Montville, New Jersey. And my home in Montville, like thousands of others across northern New Jersey, is threatened by this proposed Pilgrim Pipeline. And when I first heard about it, I became very active in my own community, and I've been educating my neighbors about impacts and risks of having this major oil pipeline come through our community. And one of the negative impacts I'd like to bring to your attention is the damaging effects a major oil pipeline can have on the local property values. There have been a number of studies conducted in Maryland, Texas, Ohio, and the Gulf of Mexico region that show pipeline spills, or even the possibility of pipeline spills, have been shown time and again to adversely impact property values. In several documented cases, directly impacted properties lost between 10 and 40% of their value. The reputational impacts alone are significant. Properties near spills will usually see a 5 to 8% reduction in value. Groundwater contamination will lead to more permanent value losses, particularly where homes rely on well water, like thousands of residents do in Oakland and Mahwah. Even if houses aren't directly damaged, the stigma and perception that the next incident could affect them is significant. Another analysis from Western Washington University notes that a home's value is negatively and significantly affected by proximity to a petroleum pipeline. And since learning about this pipeline, I've worked with my local Board of Education as well as my Township Committee to pass formal resolutions opposing this pipeline. And I'm here tonight to ask Bergen County, whose residents would also be negatively affected by the pipeline, why you have not yet taken action to oppose it. It is obvious to your residents as well as elected bodies throughout the state that this is a simple decision. 4 county freeholder boards have already formally opposed the Pilgrim Pipeline, as well as both houses of the state legislature, and over 30 towns, including Mahwah and Oakland in Bergen County. Several more communities are taking further action by passing local land use ordinances to restrict and/or prohibit unregulated oil pipeline construction within their borders. The lack of action in Bergen County sends confusing signals to state policymakers and local residents alike, leading many to wonder what your motivations and interests are by not taking any action. Moreover, granting Pilgrim permission to survey land in the Highlands region, an area that provides clean drinking water to more than half of the state, is tantamount to a public endorsement of the project. If you believe these are acceptable risks and impacts for your constituents, then you should continue doing exactly what you're doing now. And if not, then I urge you to take action and oppose this project. Your residents want you to protect them by joining the other freeholder boards throughout northern New Jersey and oppose this pipeline. Thank you.
Kim, you okay? She needs a break. Okay, give 2 more people.
Just take a break.
5 minutes?
Yeah.
5 minute
We're going to take a
recess.
5-minute recess because our poor young lady over here, fingers are just
She's so
cramping.
sweaty.
5 minutes. Okay, we have 2 more speakers. And Floyd Beanstalk.
Good evening, Claude Beanstock, Fairlawn. First, I want to comment on this immunity in Ridgewood. Steins have been stolen all over Ridgewood, and Ridgewood Police Department and the mayor have given them immunity. I support the immunity. I want those signs back up because I'm a real estate agent. I need to find those houses for sale and help buyers to buy homes. And I work in Ridgewood. I'll be in Ridgewood tomorrow. And I know those signs don't have to be there just for me. It's for emergency vehicles. That's a priority. So I want to comment on that because if somebody is caught stealing a sign, there's a black mark on their record, and that could prevent them from going to college or getting a job. It is a crime. There's immunity until September 15th, and I support that. And I'm a real estate agent, and I need those signs. I have the highest praise for Maura Nicola and Timothy Sullivan on that resolution. I do open houses all the time, every week. Getting the medicine cabinet locked up is a very good thing, but we need to do more, because if somebody chooses to use drugs, it's very difficult to stop them. They make bad choices out there. I have a common sense suggestion. They won't resolve this problem, but it's common sense, it's simple, and you don't have to have a PhD in nuclear physics to understand. I urge every parent, mother and father, to talk to their children when they're in the first, second, and third, and fourth grade, that they should avoid using heroin, cocaine, hashish, marijuana, all this garbage, and avoid underage drinking, because they can be in the fourth and fifth grade and they could be drinking all kinds of alcohol and get alcohol poisoning, they could die, and avoid smoking cigarettes. This is common sense. I can't solve this problem. I don't have all the answers, but we have to use common sense, and parents have to accept responsibility if they have children. And I'm a trustee of the Alliance Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse in Fairlawn. I go to the meetings and I deal with this problem, and no matter how much publicity we get or input we get into the community, the problem of heroin abuse is getting worse and worse. And I know it's cheap, but that doesn't mean that somebody should use heroin. They should avoid heroin at all points. Everybody should avoid using illegal drugs. It's a poison.
Mr. Beanstock.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to what I have to say.
Thank you, Claude.
Mr. Moretti.
Sal Moretti, Alpine Drive, Paramus. I'm using my stopwatch, too.
All right, I'll race you.
You said last time that I should be more specific. I brought the record notice with regard to sheriff's sales, and I brought up the issue of sheriff's sales in a church one day near my property, and they called security and removed me from the church, which one is I'm interested in because I was brought up during World War II in the Vatican, and with Dr. Jung and Bertrand Russell, etc. But it's interesting to me in the way in which language is used, since we are being so transparent. I was wondering why there was so much opacity. I picked this book up a couple of days ago, Will Durant's Caesar and Christ, which was brought out while I was in Europe during World War II in '44. And I had mentioned to Paramus that not one of their 240 colleges that they were accepted at and were going to, included an Ivy League college or St. Peter's of Jersey City. Now, my property in Demarest that I lived at for 10 years, at the front 20 acres, I set up the Academy of the Holy Angels. So that has some specificity with regard to the educational issue. And I also have some queries with regard to the type of people who are chosen in our judicial system, such as Theodore Troutwine and Arthur Vanderbilt. I don't find we needed a 1948 Constitution change, and unfortunately Mr. Vanderbilt was not capable of administering as the Chief Justice of the New Jersey Supreme Court. I note that Bertrand Russell wasn't even allowed to teach at CCNY in 1940 when he requested and received Fiorello LaGuardia's support because of the Episcopal bishop. It's now 2:55, 2 minutes and 59 seconds.
3 minutes, Mr.
I have a bunch
Moretti.
of things. The only, just as an addendum, I
3
am
minutes,
still,
Mr. Moretti.
I'm still preparing my report for you people.
Thank you.
And when you get it, it will probably have already been sent down to Washington, as you can be imagining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to close the meeting to the public?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, we will now. Okay, will the clerk read the resolutions on the consent agenda?
Resolutions 993-15 through 998-15, Resolution 1000-15 to 1037-15, and 1039-15 through 1042-15.
May I have a motion to accept the resolutions on the consent?
So
agenda?
moved.
Do I have a
Second.
second? I
Who was
have
that?
no idea, because
Can
they
we
all
start?
shout out.
Gans.
David Gans.
One at a time, please. I say this every meeting. Roll call, please.
Freeholder DiNicola.
Yes.
Freeholder Felice.
Yes.
Freeholders Gans.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan.
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Zor.
Yes.
Chairwoman Vaz.
Yes. Are there any resolutions of non-consent pulled or tabled? If so, will the clerk please read?
Resolution 999-15 was already passed. We also took non-consent Resolution 1038-15, which is a resolution authorizing County of Bergen's endorsement and approval of proposed federal legislation known as the Crude by Rail Safety Act.
Okay. We will now review the ordinances.
Wait a
for-
minute, we have to take a roll call of that. Is there a
Madam
motion?
Chair, may I so moved.
Second.
All those in roll call.
Wait,
Now I'm gonna do
may we
it.
speak to that, Madam Chair?
Yes.
I just wanted to, I know we touched on it during the public session and the opportunity to dialogue, but this was something we discussed with Senator Booker on Wednesday. It is a first step where they are contemplating passage of legislation that will both provide for first responder training programs, increase transparency about what is and what is not on the trains that are going through our communities, requests for and mandates for double hull trains, which will make them safer, and comprehensive emergency response plans by rail carriers. This is an important first step, but I also want to reiterate that both the county executive, myself, and a whole host of mayors were very adamant in communicating our concerns regarding speed limits and regarding inspections of the safety of the railways. And this is a beginning part of the dialogue. The senator was tremendously supportive of the effort and was very attentive to understanding the concerns that those on the ground in the communities have regarding the overall rail safety and about not just the oil that's being transported on our railways, but all the different chemicals that are being transported. Senator Weinberg was also at this meeting and spoke to legislation that she has pending that would also aid in our goal for transparency as far as the different chemicals being transported throughout our communities. And so this is a problem that we are tackling at all levels, from the local level to the county level to the state level and the federal level. But our vote here today is just an endorsement of a very important first step, vocalizing our support for these efforts. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
I just want to add that this is someplace where our comments can do some good, and perhaps in other places our comments are surplusage and not helpful.
Did we have the roll call?
Not yet.
Roll
Anybody
call.
else? Anybody else?
Anybody else? No.
Freeholder Di Nicola.
Yes.
Freeholder Felice.
Yes.
Freeholder Gantz.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan.
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Zor.
Yes.
Chairwoman Voss.
Yes. We will now review the ordinance for second reading and adoption. Will the clerk please read ordinance 15-16?
Proof of publication of the ordinance notice of public hearing and was published in the Record and the Herald News on Sunday, August 23rd, 2015, and is on file in my office. A copy of the notice of the hearing and ordinances number 15-16 was duly posted pursuant to NJSA 48:2-17 on Friday, August 21st, 2015. Ordinance, the title is as follows. Bond ordinance providing for the total appropriation of $3,300,000 for acquisition of a CSI InfoShare/CAD program for the Department of Public Safety by and in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, by authorizing the issuance of bonds or notes in the amount of, here we go, $362,314.63 and amending bond ordinance numbers 08-38, 09-19, 10-21, 06-15, 07-11, 13-22, and 14-23 to reappropriate $2,918,616.18 in aggregate appropriations, including to reappropriate $2,772,685.37 in aggregate bond and note authorizations. Authorizations to reappropriate $140,938.81 in aggregate down payments from the aforesaid bond ordinance to be amended and to provide for the cost of issuance thereof.
May I have a motion to open the hearing on ordinance
So moved.
15-16 to the public? Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Public hearing is now open with a 5-minute time limit. The board attorney will keep the time. When the time of the speaker expires, the timekeeper will announce that time has expired. May I have a motion? Does anybody wish to speak to that?
There appear to be none, Chairwoman.
Okay. May I have a motion to close the hearing
So
on
moved.
ordinance 15-16?
Second.
Okay. Motion to close the public hearing by Freeholder, who?
By me.
Tonelli, then just seconded by
And
Di
second,
Nicola.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The public hearing on ordinance 15-16 is closed. Is there any board discussion or comment on ordinance 15-16?
Briefly, Madam Chair, this is a wonderful effort by the prosecutor, the sheriff, and this board to really provide the best access to up-to-date information for all of law enforcement and a worthy project that we should be supporting. Thank you.
May I have a motion to adopt ordinance
So moved.
15-16?
Second.
Okay, all, yeah, we have to have a roll call. on
Yes,
this.
we do. Freeholder Di Nicola.
Yes.
Freeholder Felice, sorry.
Yes.
Freeholder Gantz.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan.
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Zor.
Yes.
Chairwoman Voss.
Yes, ordinance 15-16 is adopted. Okay, will the clerk read the next ordinance, second reading?
Proof of-
15-17, sorry.
Proof of publication of the ordinance notice of public hearing was published in the Record and the Herald News on Sunday, August 23rd, 2015, and is on file in my office. A copy of the notice of the hearing and ordinance number 15-17 was duly posted pursuant to NJSA 48:2-17 on Friday, August 21st, 2015. The title is as follows. Bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements related to law enforcement by and in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, appropriating $7,571,708, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $7,193,122 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof.
May I have a motion to open the hearing on ordinance 15-17 to the public? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Public hearing is now open with a 5-minute time limit. Anyone wish to speak?
Appear to be no speakers, Chairwoman.
Okay. May I have a motion to close the hearing on
So
ordinance
moved.
15-17?
I'll second that.
Do I have a motion?
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
Yes.
Now, please.
Public hearing on ordinance 1517 is closed. Is there any board discussion or comment on ordinance 1517? Okay, may I have a motion to adopt ordinance
So moved.
1517 as read by the clerk? Motion by,
Freeholder Gans.
seconded by? Okay, roll call please.
Freeholder DiNicola.
Yes.
Freeholder Felice.
Yay.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan.
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Zor.
Yes.
Chairwoman Vaz.
Yes, ordinance 1517 is adopted. Okay, are we going to have reports?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend committee reports this evening.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Nay.
Opposition.
Are there any opposed?
Yes, aye.
You need a roll
Need a roll
call.
call.
Okay. Freeholder DiNicola. Is this, wait a minute, what do we?
This is to
On
suspend
the
committee
motion
reports.
to suspend committee reports.
John's gonna have to
Okay.
break the tie. 73-3.
Okay, Freeholder DiNicola. Is
Yes.
the motion to
Yes,
suspend?
suspend committee reports.
Yes.
Okay. Freeholder Felice?
Yes.
Freeholder Gans?
Nay.
Freeholder Sullivan?
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli?
Yes.
Freeholder Zor?
No.
Chairwoman Vaz.
Oh, yeah.
Committee reports are suspended. Motion to
If
adjourn is in
no
order.
further business to come before this meeting, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
No one rushed in.
Nay.
Nay.
We are adjourned.
Nay.